Oulton Park is melting in the dark. Alright, Oulton Park. I don't remember the last time I've done this. it's been a while. I think I looked up the last time I did this particular layout in this car was 2 years ago. I think it must have been for some hosted event or something. But we're here, we're doing it. The open races are going to be rainy, but we did this for the fixed, which are going to be dry. I was able to get a 131.544. I think the fast guys are going to be doing like high 29s maybe. We'll see when we get to it. I don't know. I still need to do some practice in the rain, but was pretty happy getting this time. We'll go ahead and we'll show you the fast lap I was able to do. I'll go through and explain slow-mo wise what I was thinking at each corner, and then we'll come back for some final thoughts.
That lap time was 1:31.76. You're now 0.10, slower than your best. Sector 1 is quick. Sector 2 time is quick. That lap was a 1:31.54. Sector 3 is a 10th off your best.
Alright, Porsche Cup fixed. Oulton Park, international without Brittens. Got us a 131.544. We've moved the brake bias back 4 clicks to minus 5.5, 41.1%. Let's go ahead and go through how we did it. On the straight, we go flat out. First braking point is going to be around this sign right here. And this corner is really kind of hard for me to get consistently. But as you see, we're hitting the brakes as we approach this this sign on the left here. We're going to hit the brakes, not super hard. Just kind of want to get the car slowed down and get turning in. We're going to downshift to third. We don't want to hit the inside curb super hard here. That'll unsettle the car, and it does not seem to help at all. But we're gonna get the car turned in. We'll start putting a little bit of throttle in. We do hit it a little bit here, but like I said, not super hard. Wait a little bit until we get the car straightened out, and then we can straighten it out. We can come out a decent ways over here. I want to keep our right hand side on the curbing here. Wouldn't go out any further than that. But flat out here. And like I said, I think not hitting that inside curb would have helped us a little bit there. We would have been able to get to the throttle a tiny bit, put more throttle down a little bit quicker. But we're going to kind of stay on the left side here until we get to, we're pointing down this hill here. That way, when we turn in, we're going to be lined up with the outside of the road here instead of trying to hug that inside while we turn. This way we're nice and lined up with it. Do not touch the grass with your right rear during any of this. I did that a few times, and because we're under braking now. Oops. We're under braking. Braking points, you can see there's a little dip right here. We're gonna brake a little bit before that. And if we touch the grass while we're under braking, the car just spins and you're going sideways into that tire barrier. It's not fun. So we're just gonna use a little bit of braking. Get the car turned in. We're gonna downshift to third in a second here. There we go. Just hold that little bit of brake force as we come around. We're gonna touch the inside curbing here as we put some power in. We're just gonna wait until we can straighten out the wheel, and then we can put down the rest of the power. And again, we can use a little bit of the AstroTurf on the outside here. Don't want to use a ton. And we want to make sure that we get to the inside before it ends, right up here. But we're flat out now until we get to, there's this alternate layout, but there's a little access road before that. We're going to brake at this little access road here. Or footpath, I'm not quite sure what it is. But this right here is where we're braking. We don't, this would be a little bit too late for me. So we're going to just tap the brakes, not super heavy, just a little bit, and then we're going to downshift to fourth. Hold that little bit of brake pressure as we come through here. And start to get back on it. And once we come around, we can go full throttle. If you miss and goof this up and end up over here, you just, I don't want to say go ahead and take the L and go into the tire barrier, but don't, like, you don't want to end up sending, like, because it's really super hard to stop over here. Just be on the brakes, be slowing down, because you need to stop before you end up going across this, and it's really hard to do that. So just be careful, I guess. My word of warning there. There's a little discolored spot right here, and that's kind of our breaking point. We're hitting a little bit before that. That's what I'm looking for there. It's gonna be tough with cars. Basically, where this it's kind of where it starts to straighten out. This white line starts to straighten out. So we're gonna get on the brakes there. Like I said, a little bit before that. Hold that brake pressure. We're gonna get down to second. It's really easy to lock up through here. Did that a lot, so just be careful. Practice it enough. We're easing off the brakes. We're down in second. Just hold that little bit of brake pressure as we come through here. And then as we come around, just to wait, and then we'll start to put a little bit of throttle in. And then we'll start to unwind the wheel as we come out. And once we get the wheel unwound, we'll get the rest of the way on the throttle. You can kind of feel when it starts to hook up through here. It's hard for me to know without feeling the force feedback exactly when that is, but you can kind of feel it through the force feedback when it's starting to hook up again. And you can put the rest of that throttle down. Right about there, I think, is where it happened. But yeah, and then we're just flat out through here until we get to the braking point is kind of halfway between the 200 and the 100. I'm using, there's this difference in the tire barrier here. That's kind of my spot that I'm using. So we're gonna hit the brakes and start. We're gonna get downshift and then just hold that brake pressure. And then as we get closer, I'm gonna do my other downshifts, third, and then second. We're easing up as we turn in. We're easing up off the brakes. Do our little trail braking thing. Get turned in, and then we're gonna do a little bit of throttle as we come through here, and then we're gonna have to hit the brakes again as we come around. They're just a tap. Get the car turning, and then we back on the throttle. We have to wait until we get the car turned through. And then we're going to go back to full throttle. And then as we approach this next corner here, we're going to have to lift and just breathe on the throttle, the brake, to get the car turning the way that we want it to turn. And we're back on the throttle. And then once we come out and get the wheel straightened up, we can get back to full throttle. And we're just full throttle through this section here. Again, we can use a little bit of that AstroTurf. Alright, as we approach this corner, we're going to start braking kind of as we come in here. Don't have a really well-defined brake point, so we're just, yeah, like I said, as we start to approach this, we're going to start braking. We're going to downshift to fourth. Third, like, is, like, not as quick, but it probably feels quite a bit safer. But, again, it's not going to be quite as quick, I don't think, from what I've done. But we're just going to hold that little bit of brake pressure as we come around. And just wait for it, and we can start putting a little bit of throttle in. And this is another one of those where it was really easy to spin out if we hit this at a weird angle or anything. We're full throttle now, but we want to be going straight as we come over this hill. I spun out a lot here, so it takes some practice. We just want to be kind of going straight in a straight line, not turning super hard as we come through that, go over that hill. But yeah, it's full throttle through here. This final corner, again, I spun out a lot over this hill that's coming up around the corner here. But we're going to brake a little bit before this sign here. Just erring on the side of caution. I would like to brake at the sign, but I'm just doing a bit before because I had so many issues. So we're just going to hit the brakes and get down to third, and then second. As we come around, we're just turning in gently. Hold that little bit of brake pressure as we're coming around, put a little bit of more wheel in, easing off the brakes as we come through. And we can start putting a little bit of throttle in. And we're going over this hill, so it's sketchy to be putting in that much wheel and throttle. And you can kind of feel it when you're doing this, but we're full throttle now. You just have to be careful when you're applying that throttle that you have the grip available to do it. Is basically the thing. But there we go. 131.544. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be dry for the fixed races and rainy for the open, like 80% chance of rain. So I think the fixed races will probably be busy. The open ones even less so. They're usually not as busy anyway. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna tomorrow practice wet laps, and we'll see what I can do there. Not super practice at the rain, but yeah, looking, like I said, feel like I've done okay at this. It's gonna be messy, I think. I spun out a fair amount just doing the practice in the dry. I can't imagine in the wet. We'll see. If you want to watch along live when we do these things, head on over to twitch.tv/thepultdownman. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and if you think I earned it, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Bye.